Hello and welcome back to the weekly Cars.co.za news. I'm David Taylor, and in today's episode, 4 brand new Tatas, the new generation Volkswagen T-Roc, the brand new BMW Neue Klasse, plus the next generation of Mercedes-Benz GLC. And before we get into the details of this week's news episode, let me remind you, Cars.co.za is hosting DealerCon 2025 at the Sanford Convention Center. So if you're in the automotive retail space, be it a dealer, an F&I, or a finance partner, you should come down to DealerCon 2025. I will link all the info you need to know in the description below. Right, let's talk about some new cars. Music. Right, on to the first story for the week, and Tata has launched not one, not two, 4 new models into our market. Now, I've spoken about these vehicles before, and I suspected that this is what they were, and now they've come to market and we have pricing. All the pricing you need to know is live on the Cars.co.za app and website. But today I'm going to focus on 2 models that I think are the most relevant and important to South Africa. The first up is the Tata Tiago, and it's the brand's cheapest model. Just how cheap, you ask? 184,900 Rand gets you behind the wheel. When last did you hear of a brand new car costing under 200,000 Rand? And now you're probably going, it probably has like a 0.5 litre engine and no safety features. But hang on. There's a naturally aspirated 1.2 petrol engine, 63 kilowatts, 130 newton meters, and you have the choice of either a manual gearbox or an automated manual. And I'm hoping that the automated manual is actually decent. My past experience with this type of transmission has not been great. Look, when in doubt, always go for a manual. But importantly, when it comes to pricing and value for money and so on, I always feel like the shortcut is safety, and I'm happy to report that the Tiago covers the basics. Dual front airbags, anti-lock brakes, and stability control. The higher spec models, they add nice things like Apple CarPlay and infotainment screens, reverse camera, and so on. Now I'm going to skip the punch and the curve for now and focus on the Harrier, because right now, 500,000 Rand, 600,000 Rand thereabouts, that is a very popular segment for SUVs. And there's this, the Tata Harrier. And I think it's going to steal quite a number of sales from other established brands. And let me tell you why. One word, diesel. How many vehicles in this segment offer a diesel motor? And we know that diesel is great for sales success. Look at how well the GWM Tank 300 is selling. Yes, it was offered in petrol and petrol hybrid. Suddenly they introduced diesel and the sales have just rocketed. So the Tata Harrier's diesel, 2-litre, 4-cylinder turbocharged, 125 kilowatts, 350 newton meters, front wheel driven with a 6-speed auto. Watch this space. And honestly, I don't think the Harrier is a bad looking car. It's pretty sharp, pretty modern in terms of size, same ballpark as a Tiguan or a RAV4. And interestingly, under the skin is a platform loosely based on the Land Rover Discovery Sport setup. Now, if you remember, who owns Jaguar Land Rover? Yes, it's Tata. Pricing starts from around 550,000 Rand. There'll be 3 derivatives. Pricing, warranty, after sales is on your screen now. Do you think this will be a sales success? Let me know in the comments below. On to the next story, and this bright yellow thing is the 2nd generation Volkswagen T-Roc. Yes, I know it's yet another SUV, but the sales figures don't lie. This is Volkswagen's 2nd best-selling SUV after the Tiguan. Almost 300,000 units in Europe alone since its launch back in 2017. There was a facelift in 2021, 2022. And I think Volkswagen will be going, we need to not mess this up. As you can see, the looks have changed dramatically, and I think this yellow paint is doing an awesome job of making the thing looking plush, exciting, youthful. Interestingly, the T-Roc is built in Portugal and still rides on an MQB platform, but this MQB platform has been updated. So now that's called the MQB Evo, and the result is slightly more space. The vehicle is now 12 centimeters longer, and the boot is bigger, and there's a bit more rear legroom. In terms of powertrain, Europe will be getting the mild hybrid 48-volt 1.5 litre turbocharged 4-cylinders. There'll be outputs ranging from 85 kilowatts to 110 kilowatts. There'll be more engines to come, like the E888, that's the Golf GTI engine, and yes, there will be a T-Roc R. The question is, will this actually come to South Africa? We reached out to Volkswagen Group Africa and they confirmed, yep, still under consideration. Now, I suspect that if we do get it, and I'm sure we will, the T-Roc has been pretty popular in my opinion. I think that engine, that mild hybrid one that is, will be ditched in favor of a tried and trusted motor, the 1.4 turbocharged motor, that one that's in the Golf 8.5 and the Tiguan and the Tayron. That's 110 kilowatts, that's 250 newton meters, and I think that motor and combination should be just fine for our market. And finally, right now, in the second week of September, as I'm recording this, we're smack bang in the middle of IAA. That's basically the Frankfurt and Munich Auto Show. They alternate every couple of years, and it's Germany's biggest. So you can expect all the German brands to be going, right, we have new toys, let's look at them. And two of them have stood out thus far. The first one is the Mercedes-Benz GLC. Now, right away, this is a critical model for Merc, because in terms of sales, nothing sells other than the GLC in their portfolio. It is by far their biggest volume mover. So it's pretty important that they don't mess it up. But let's just take a moment and look at it. Guys, that design is bold. I think the design team went a little bit overboard with the illumination. I mean, we have star-shaped headlights and an illuminated grille and headlights and LED. There's just so many lights. But the back, I think it's really neat and elegant, but it's the under-the-skin stuff that matters the most. Okay, yes, disclaimer first, this is the GLC EQ, the electric one. And yeah, don't despair, there will be petrol, diesel, plug-in hybrids, and normal hybrids to follow. But you know what European manufacturers are like, we must have electric first. Anyways, look inside this thing, guys. The dashboard. Mercedes-Benz says that this entire digital dashboard is the largest screen they've ever fitted in a car. And at this point I go, how is it okay that I'm not allowed to hold a telephone, mobile phone that is, but we can have this massive screen that stretches almost 1.5 meters across the entire dashboard, and that's not distracting? How does this make sense? Anyways, it will be coming to South Africa in 2027. And of course, we'll have pricing, engine details, and more when the vehicle launches. And then it was BMW's turn. And on your screen right now, that's the first production version of its all-new Neue Klasse platform. So remember, Neue Klasse is not just one model, it's an entire generation of vehicles. Plus, BMW has said making these vehicles is going to completely rewire how we do things. So it's new production processes, new materials, sustainability, blah, 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 blah. Those looks. What happened to the massive grills? Just a few years ago, we had M3, M4 with a massive, and now we have these cute little neat grills. There doesn't seem to be much consistency in the design studios these days. And the thing with the Neue Klasse design language is it's not just going to be Neue Klasse models like the future ones. The current lineup will also receive this face. And we've already seen spy shots from around the world of current generation products like the M5, and they'll be getting a Neue Klasse face in the next 18 months. As is the case now, and as is the trend, step inside the cabin and you have massive screen. Although this one isn't that massive, well, I suppose nothing is as massive as the GLCs, but the shape of this screen, it's quite a weird. Most times you want a circle or a square, this thing seems a bit jagged. But on closer inspection, if you look at the base of the windscreen, that entire strip seems to be a little screen, and I think that would negate the need for a head-up display. And I like this because head-up displays, I have a love-hate relationship. See, I have polarized sunglasses, and on certain times of the day and in certain lights, I just don't see anything. As it stands, the BMW iX3 is all electric, and I'm hoping we get to see some form of internal combustion power fitted to this rather interesting futuristic car. There's going to be other cars as well, smaller SUV, larger SUV, and a sedan. And critically, BMW iX3 is confirmed, there's a statement here from BMW, launching in South Africa towards the end of 2026. That's this week's news episode wrapped up. But before I end off, if you want me to cover any of the really cool concepts and vehicles we've seen from IAA, that's the Munich Motor Show, do let me know in the comments below and I'll start compiling B-roll, and we can do this for next week. But anyways, all the info you need on the vehicles you've seen today will be linked in the description below, as well as a link to get your tickets to DealerCon if you're in the industry. And remember, Cars.co.za, we're not just a YouTube channel, we also sell cars. Right now we have 83,000 vehicles for sale. We also have multiple tools and features to make your car buying journey that much simpler. For me, the finance calculator. How much am I going to be paying for my dream set of wheels? Anyways, I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.
Let's find what moves you. Cars.co.za.